So today we are going to discuss the new module called React.js. What is the use of React.js and why we are using React.js? Now we are going to discuss step by step. So before entering to the React also, we have to know first what is meant by website and web application. First we have to know that clarity, then we can move to the React. So first we have to focus on website. What is meant by website and types of websites? So website is a collection of web pages. If you are opening any website also, we have a number of web pages. For example, I'm going to open here one website that is seminteriors.in. If I'm opening this website, just you can observe here, we have here the home page design, it will be displayed. If I'm click on about us page is open here. So that means here, if I'm click on anywhere also, what happened? It is moving from one page to another page. So here we have n number of pages. If I'm click on every time, what happened? It is navigating from one page to another page. So that's why we can call it as a website. So what is meant by website? Website is a collection of web pages. What is meant by web page? If you are open anything in the browser screen, if you are open anything in the browser, we can call it as a web page. For example, here I'm opening Zoom. This is one web page. If I'm click on schedule, so this is another web page. If I'm click on so here join, that is another web page. Like whenever if you are click on so here the navigations, nothing but the links. It is navigating from one page to another page. So that's why the website is a collection of web pages. In real-time scenario, we have two types of websites. One is static website and second one is dynamic website. What is meant by static website? Static is nothing but it is a fixed content. Static is nothing but it is a fixed content. So only for presentation purpose only we can design the static websites. Nothing but, for example, I'm running some business, I want to promote in online. Simply what I'm trying to do, so I'm going to build one website. So this is it is a fixed content. If you require any changes also, we can contact to the developer. Why? Because they know complete coding. So through the coding knowledge they can do the changes. For example, I have one website. So that website, I want to identify whether it is a static or dynamic. How we are going to identify? So if we have the extension .html or .htm, we can easily understood that is static website, right? So for example, I'm going to open here. So one website, so that is enartech.com. So this website is static or dynamic, I want to identify. How we are going to identify? If you are click on the navigation, if you are click on any navigation also, if you have the extension here .html or .htm, we can easily understood that is static website, right? So most probably you will get the extensions .html only. So before 2000 websites, so they are using .html extension. Now currently we are into HTML5, so that's why we have to prefer .html only. If you are using this one also, it will support and it will execute. There is no issue, but the recommended way is you can follow the latest version here. So that is so static website. I'm going to revise one more time. So website is a collection of web pages. Web page is nothing but if you are open anything in the browser, we can call it as a web page. And we have two types of websites, static and dynamic. What is meant by static? It is a fixed content. So only for presentation purpose only we can. So that means only for look and feel purpose we are going to design that website. So it is a fixed content. Now, if you require any changes, for example, I want to change my phone number. Otherwise, I want to change my email ID. If I know the coding, then I can directly I am able to do the changes. In case if I don't know any coding, just I'm going to simply contact the developer. So the developer they can do the changes with the help of coding. If we have the extension .html or .htm, we can easily understood that is static website. So then we'll move to the dynamic. So dynamic in the sense we have separate admin dashboard. Through the admin dashboard, we can do the changes. Nothing but we have here dashboard. So with the help of this dashboard, we can do any type of changes also. Nothing but if you want to post something, you can post it. If you want to edit, you can edit. If you want to delete also, you can delete. And if you want to retrieve the data also, we can retrieve. So best examples are e-commerce websites. So if you are observing e-commerce websites, so today they are going to publish some products. Tomorrow they are going to add new products, and at the same time they're going to update the prices also. No, they're going to give some discounts. They're going to increase and decrease the prices, right? I will show you with the real-time example here. Just you can observe here. I'm going to open here one engineering college website here. Here my client requirement is they want to post latest news dynamically, as well as they want to post events, as well as they want to publish exam notifications also their self. So how they are going to publish actually? Whenever if you are a client task like a admin panel, nothing but dynamic things, we have to give some credentials for your client. Now I'm going to open here admin.php. So here it is asking some username and password. Now for security reasons already we created some username and password. Now I'm able to log in directly. After login, see here, we have here admin dashboard. So through this admin dashboard, you can observe here what are the options client required. So depends upon the client requirement, we are going to build this type of dashboards. You can observe latest news, photos, media, video testimonials, exam notifications, everything we have here. So and at the same time, we have the delete and delete operations also. For example, now I want to post some dummy news. Hi, BAET, just click on that post news. So we got some notification, latest news updated successfully. So whether that news is updated or not, how we are going to check? Just simply you can open that website. Previously we don't have that high BIT. Now whether we are getting or not, you can observe here. Automatically we are getting here high BIT. So if you want to edit or if you want to delete that latest news, here we have the options. If I click on that one, previously whatever we posted, that entire latest news list it is showing here. So here you can observe recently we posted this one. If you want to edit or if you want to delete, you can do that. So I'm click on delete. We got some notification latest news deleted successfully. Whether it is deleted or not, just refresh your website and you can check here. There is no high VAT here. So nothing but what happened here. So client directly they can able to do the changes themselves only now. Nothing but in the real time scenario, if you are doing only the static websites, so every time they're going to contact with the developer, and so some of the cases developer is not available at the time, so they has to wait until unless the developer doing the changes. So that is the reason. So to avoid that static websites, they are going to build the dynamic websites. Dynamic in the sense we have separated dashboard. Through the dashboards, so they can do any type of changes. But if you want to build this dashboard thing, we have to go to the backend programming also. So here, this is called dynamic website. With the help of dynamic website, you can do all the things here. So simply here static in the sense if you are in front end, if you are into front end, you can just to use the front end technologies along with like web hostings. You can build one website and you can launch that website. But what about dynamic? Dynamic in the sense we are going to interact to the database. For example, here I'm going to post something. So that news is not reflected to directly home page. What happened here if I'm entering some text and if I click on the post news, directly it will connect to the database. In the database, the data should be stored. Whenever if you are open your home page, the data is coming from the database. So here we are using the backend programming, nothing but you can observe PHP I am using here. So if you want to build these type of dynamic websites, so we have to know the backend programming. You can use the PHP or you can use the Python or you can use the .NET or you can use the Java. This is the difference between static and dynamic. Static is nothing but it is a fixed content. Every time you can contact the developer and you can do the changes. Whereas the dynamic, no need to do anything like every time no need to contact to the developer. So here directly you can do the changes yourself. So that is called static and dynamic. So coming to next one is web applications. So we can also call it as a web apps. What is meant by web applications or web apps? Dynamic websites simply we can call it as a web applications. But these web applications we have under two categories. One is single page applications and second one is multi-page applications. So first we have to know what is the difference between single page and multi-page. We are going to discuss step by step. What is meant by multi-page? If I'm giving some request, we will get the response. While getting the response, the website is reloading or not, you can observe here. So the website is reloading or not, we have to check. So for example, now you can observe here. So here I am giving some request. Request in the sense here I'm going to click on that one. If I'm click on that one, we will get some response here. While getting that response, the web page is reloading or not, you can observe here. So now I'm going to click on photo gallery. What happened? So it is loading. And if I'm click on the video testimonials, again it is loading. So that means if I'm click on every time nothing, but if I'm giving the request while getting the response, the web page is reloading every time here. So that is called multi-page application. So request in the sense whatever you are doing some action, for that action we will get some response. So every action we have some reaction. So like here, so if I'm giving the request, must and should you will get the response. While getting the response, the website is completely the reloading is there. So that's why we can call it as it is a multi-page application. For example, now as a single user I am giving some request and we got the response. For example, this site at a time, so like 1,000 members are accessing, so 1,000 students or 1,000 admins directly they can access. At the time what happened, you are giving like 1,000 requests at a time, we will get the 1,000 responses, but while getting that responses it will take some time to load that requests. Here what happened, if you are giving any request also we will get the response. While getting the response, the website is reloading. So at a time if you are access like 1,000 members or 2,000 members, so that means at a time you are giving 1,000 requests for your server. So whenever if you are giving the 1,000 request for your server, we will get the 1,000 responses. But if you are getting that responses, what happened? So compulsory, it will take some time to load that one, and we will get the response. So here we are facing the performance issues. Here we are facing the performance issues. Example, if you are observing like result portals, if you are check any result also, so directly we are going to open that result website, and at the same time we have to enter our hall ticket number. If I am entering hall ticket number and click on the get result button, so if I click on the get result button, what happened? We will get some notification. Server is down, server is unreachable. So session timeout, like that kind of things we are getting now. Why you are getting that one? So why? Because so multiple requests already given, so the responses it is loading now, so that's why we are getting that issues. To avoid that issues, so they implemented here single page application. Single page application in the sense, if you are giving any request also, so we will get the response without reloading that entire website. Only particular request only it will load. So previously what happened, here entire website is reloading, so but here not like that, only the particular request only it will load. So at the time it will be giving the response very fast. So that's why nowadays all are looking for the single page applications. So first I will show you the so official website of React or Angular or Vue.js, anything is fine. So why? Because all are like completely like single page applications only. So now I'm going to open here React.js. So official website only I'm going to open. So go to the tutorials here, and we have here the navigation. So if you am click on this navigation, we will get the response. While getting the response, it is reloading or not, you can just observe. Now I'm going to click on that. What happened? It is changed, but it is not reloading. You can observe at a time here. So what happened? We are getting very quick response. Why we are getting very quick response? Why? Because so here this is a single page application. If I'm giving the request, we are getting the response without reloading that web page. You can at a time you can give the 1,000 request also. It will be very fast when compared to the multi-page application. Why? Because here the website is not reloading now, so that's why we will get the quick response, immediate response. So that's why nowadays all are so using a single page applications. Single page application in the sense we are not writing entire code in one web page. We are not writing entire code in one page. So internally we have here multiple pages. Here also we have the multiple pages. Actually we are calling as a component. Generally in the HTML level we are calling as a web page now, but here we are calling as a component. I will tell you what is meant component, all these things. Just you can remember, simply the web page is replaced with component. So here we have the multiple components. So all these components we are going to render, nothing but we are going to execute. So through the single page. So that's why we can call it as it is a single page application. Single page application in the sense we are not going to write entire code in one web page. So internally we have the n number of web pages, but all the web pages we are going to render, we are going to execute through the single page. So that's why we can call it as it is a single page applications. If you want to do the multi-page application, you can use the static websites like HTML language. You can use it static websites, or if you are move to the dynamic also, you can use the PHP or Python or .NET or Java. Anything you can use. So, but coming to the single page applications, you can use here. So React JS, or you can use the Angular JS, or you can use the Vue JS. Anything is fine. You can use any programming language also. So this is the difference, a small difference between the single page and multi-page applications. Main the thing is performance issues. So for example, if you are booking some ticket also, if you are getting quick responses, you can use next time also same app. If it is taking some time from next time onwards, you are not going to use that app, and at the same time you are not going to refer also, no. So that is the reason. So nowadays all are build a single page applications. So coming to the difference between React.js, AngularJS, and Vue.js, we are going to discuss step by step. So Vue.js is recently introduced only. So maximum like in India, not using that Vue.js. In abroad, so most probably all companies are using Vue.js. So and coming to React and especially Angular, so this React is officially maintained by the Facebook company, and at the same time, this AngularJS is officially maintained by the Google company. So, what is the difference between React.js as well as AngularJS? Now we are going to discuss step by step. So coming to what is the difference between React.js and AngularJS? So React.js is a JS library. Both are related to JavaScript only. So it is a JS library and it is a JS framework. So what is the difference between library and framework? For example, if you are observing jQuery, jQuery is a library of JavaScript. No, nothing but in the JavaScript we are writing each and everything manually, but coming to the jQuery, what we are going to do, just we have to take some predefined methods. If you want to hide some div, so what we are going to do, just we have to take the hide method. If you want to show something, we can simply call the show method. If you want to do both the things, just simply you can call the toggle method. No, so from where we are getting all these methods, show, hide, toggle, fade in, fade out, everything we are getting from the jQuery library. So that is called library. Library in the sense a set of inbuilt functions already we have. You can utilize that one and you can implement and you can write your custom functionalities also. That is called library. So regular examples also if you are considering. So we have the libraries now. In the library, what we have the collections, right? We have the books, right? So just we can go to the library and we can read some documentation, some books, and we can utilize that info, right? So here also same thing. We have the libraries. Just you have to use that libraries for your programming, for your functionality purpose, as well as you can implement your custom functionalities also. So that's why we can call it as it is a JS library. And coming to this Angular, it is a framework. So for example, so already you know the HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, everything, right? So in the CSS, if you are observing everything we are writing, the decoration part is manually. We can take the selectors, right? So class or ID, universal, descendant selector, we can take that selectors and you can write your own properties and you can implement. Coming to Bootstrap, what happened in the Bootstrap? So we are not writing anything manually, right? So just we have some predefined classes from the bootstrap.min.css file, and you can call that file and you can utilize that classes, right? So that is called framework, nothing but BS is a Bootstrap is a CSS framework. Just we have to utilize that classes and you can build that application or website. So that is the difference between so library as well as framework. So best example here, so in the javascript, whenever if you are work with the form validation, for example, see here I'm going to open one website and this website contains here one form. If I'm not entering any data, what happened, we are getting here some form validations now. So how we are going to work with these form validations, we have to use the JavaScript. In the JavaScript, you can write that code manually and you can perform that validation. If you want to perform same validations in the Angular, so no need to write that code manually. We have some predefined properties. So with the help of that properties, you can build that one. Nothing but what happened. So in the Angular, we are not going to write that much of code for the so validation purpose. No? So that's why we can call it as a framework. Officially, so it is a JS library and it is a JS framework. And so this React JS is introduced by the FB company and officially maintained by the Facebook only. So actually, so that React language is introduced for to build the Facebook application. So after that, they did the open source. What is meant by open source? Anyone can download without any payment, right? So they can directly use that application and they can build the things here. So coming to this one, so Angular JS, this is officially maintained by the Google company, and at the same time, so here the Angular JS products are like a Gmail, Google My Business, complete Google related products. Everything is Angular only. If you are observing Gmail, regularly we are using Gmail now, so that is also single page only. So the Gmail as well as Netflix as well as Google My Business, Google Maps, everything they are going to build with the help of Angular JS only. Here not only FB, we have the regular use like a WhatsApp. We have the WhatsApp now. That WhatsApp also built with the help of React only, and at the same time Insta also built with the help of React only. So in the real time scenario, if you are observing e-commerce sites, most probably all the e-commerce sites dashboards we are going to build with the help of React JS. So that is the difference between the Angular JS and React JS. It is a library. React JS is a library, and it is the Angular JS is a framework. And so officially maintained by the Facebook company. This is officially maintained by the Google company. So the products of the React is the Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and most probably all the dashboards. And coming to the Angular JS, so here we have the Gmail, Google My Business, Google Maps, so and at the same time, so Google Tag Manager, so everything, so they are going to build with the help of so Angular JS only. That is the difference between both the Angular JS and React JS. So and at the same time, in Angular JS, must and should every 6 months they are going to introduce some new version mandatory. Current version of the Angular is 14th version we have here. So every 6 months must and should they are going to do the updates here mandatory. Every 6 months new version is introduced. So here coming to this one, so here the current version of the React is 18th version now we are using, but so there is no fixed time to launch that new version. Here there is no fixed time, maybe it will take 6 months or 1 year or 2 years also, we don't know exactly the period, but here every 6 months they introduced here new version mandatory. And so in the React JS, by using React JS, we can build only view layer. What is meant by view layer? View layer is nothing but whatever you are seeing the front end. You can just use the view layer only with the help of React. You are going to build only the view layer only. But by using Angular JS, you can build the MVC applications. What is meant by MVC? Model View Controller. So you can build the backend also, but in real-time scenario, we are not using for the backend, but here we have the chance to build the backend also by using AngularJS, but we are not going to prefer like a backend. We can do only the front end only. So this is the difference between React.js and so AngularJS. So then next we'll move to the, so our intention is React only now. So then we'll move to the React.js. So what is the use of React.js? By using React.js, so we can build a single page application. We can simply call it as a SPAS. we can build a single page applications. And so single page application in the sense we are not going to write entire code in single page. We have a number of components, that all components we are going to execute or we are going to render through the single page only. That's why we can call it as a, it is a single page application here. So now here I have one question. So that depends upon that question, we can easily understood the React JS concepts here step by step. For example, I have here .js file. So this .js file I want to execute directly in the browser, whether it will execute or not. I have here, so .js file. I'm trying to run that JS file, whether it will execute or not. As well as I have .html file. So that .html file I'm going to run. So whether the file is execute or not. So .html file always it will support in the browser, directly it will execute. But what about .js file? .js file it won't support directly in the browser. So if you want to run that file, what you are going to do? You have to call that JS in our HTML file. Through that only you are going to so execute that one. If you want to direct .js file in the browser, 100% it is not possible. If you are trying to run also, it will show that code as it is. For example, now I'm going to open here some JS file. So now I have here some print statements I'm going to write. Better you can go to here some JS file. So here I have the main.js. So this main.js I'm going to open. I think one print statement we have. Yes. So now I'm going to execute this one. So generally, if you are executing the HTML file, it will shows the output here. What about this one? So our file name is main.js. Now I'm going to take here main.js. See here, the code it is showing as it is. It is not executing. But if you are executing the HTML file, we are getting the output here. Why you are getting like that? So why? Because by default, each and every browser contains some engines. So through that engines only it will execute. So by default, all browsers are the softwares only. That softwares also built with the help of some programming only. In that coding, they mention only .html files only. I want to execute. For example, if you are using the Chrome, so what is the engine of that Chrome? So V8, V8 is the engine for the Chrome browser, and this is built with the help of C++ programming language. If I'm using so Mozilla Firefox, so what is the engine for that? So we have the engine called Spider Monkey. So with the help of this Spider Monkey, you can execute your programming. So and at the same time, if I'm using the Safari browser, what is the engine? We have the engine called WebKit. So like that, for each and every browser has some engines. Through that engines only it will execute. So regularly we are using static website .html. We are going to open the Notepad++, or we are going to open the VS Code editor, or we are using the Sublime, Atom, Bracket, or WebStorm. Different type of editors we are using. So if you want to execute .html file, what we are going to do? For example, this is the file I want to execute. Directly we can go to the file, open in default here. Automatically it will move to the browser and we are getting the output. But what about JS files? So the JS files is not executing by the browser directly. If you want to execute that files, we have to call that JS file in the HTML. Through that only we are going to execute. So this is very, very important for the real time. So in interview times also they are going to ask why .html file only execute directly, why .js file is not executing. So we have the engines. So in that engines, they implemented the programming, only the .html files only execute. For example, I have here .js file. So I want to execute not in the browser. I want to run this programming. I want to print that output. So what you are going to do? If you want to execute any .js file, so if you want to run the .js file, we have the Node.js. Node.js is not a programming language. It is a JavaScript runtime environment. Nothing but if you want to run the JS file, you can use the Node.js. So through the Node.js, you can run any JS file also. So Now I will show you the step by step also. Just you can understood the definitions. So like theory, first you have to know the theoretical part, then we'll move to the practical implementation step by step. If you have any JS file, so that JS file directly we are going to call it the HTML. Through the HTML only we are going to execute. But I don't want HTML. I have the JS file. That JS file I'm going to execute. How we are going to execute? Through the Node.js, we have to execute that JS file directly. So in the console automatically you will get in the terminal you will get the output. So Node.js is a runtime environment, runtime environment for JavaScript. So nothing but if you have any JS file also, just you can try to implement with the help of Node.js, you'll get the output. So what are the prerequisites to learn the React.js? So the prerequisites are front-end concepts like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, as well as Bootstrap, as well as ECMAScript, and we have to know the jQuery also. Here we have all these things like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and as well as Bootstrap and jQuery. So in the real time also, already we have some experience also. You are doing these languages with the help of this programming. You are build some website also. What about this ECMAScript? So actually, so we have to know the difference between JavaScript and ECMAScript also. Little bit we'll discuss here. Then we'll move to the regular concepts. So JavaScript is a not a OOPS programming. What is meant by OOPS? OOPS is a object-oriented programming. So by using OOPS, we can easily declare the classes. We can easily implement the logics. Everything is possible. But JavaScript is not a OOPS programming. So and this JavaScript is stopped in 2015 only. After that, they implemented a number of updates that all updates they introduced in the ECMAScript. So in the Google also, if you are searching ES6, ES7, ES8, like that, we'll get. So ES6 in the sense ECMAScript 2016, nothing but 2015 it is stopped na JavaScript. So they implemented here ES6. In the Year 6, we have all the features whatever we have in the JavaScript, that all features we have, and at the same time, additionally, we have a number of features they implemented here, so that all the features also we are going to access through the ECMAScript. So if you know all these programmings like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and at least minimum JavaScript basics as well as jQuery, if you know all these concepts, you can easily understood that React.js and we can implement. So this is the prerequisites whenever if you want to learn the React. Then what are the editor we are using? What is meant by editor? Editor in the sense where we are going to write the code. So for example, if you are build a static website, you can use the Notepad++, or you can use the Visual Studio, or you can use the Sublime, or you can use the Atom, or you can use the Bracket. So and we can also use the WebStream. So you can also use the Dreamweaver. So this Dreamweaver is the paid one, licensed one. So remaining all are open source. You can use any editor also to build that website. So you can, these all are open source. You can just go to the Google and download and you can utilize that one. So you can take anything also, any editor also, no problem. But most probably all are using the Sublime as well as VS Code editor for the real-time scenario. So most probably all are using the VS Code editor. Why they are going to use the VS Code editor? So we have like user friendliness, like developer friendliness is there. So that's why they're going to take the VS Code editor. So for the React also, you can work with the VS Code editor or WebStorm. Anything is fine. You can just use VS or WebStorm also. Anything is fine. So first we have to install the editor. So how we are going to install the editor? Now just to go to the Google and you can search here VS Code download. So VS Code download. So automatically we have here the official website here. So go to that official website. Depends upon your OS, you can download. So your OS is Windows or your OS is Ubuntu or your OS is Mac, you can download anything also depends upon your OS. So our OS is Windows. I'm going to download here. So Windows OS related exe file. What is meant by exe? Execution file. So if you are installing any software also, we will get most probably the exe files. So otherwise the Microsoft installers we will get. So now what we are going to do, we have to install. How we are going to install? So just you have to double click. So then you have to click on next, 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 next and finish. So this is the way you have to install. So double click, yes, next, next, and finish. So I'm not going to install. Why? Because already I have the VS Code editor. So that's why what I'm trying to use, just I'm going to click on next, install. If you are click on install, it will shows the progress. After installation that one, you will get the finish button. Just click on finish. So once the installation is done, so what you are going to do, you can just go to the search, or you can go to the start button. You can just search here VS. So you can observe here. So we have the here VS Code. Just you have try, you have to open that VS Code. So if you are open the VS Code editor, freshly you will get one new file without any existing files. But here already I worked on React projects, as well as I worked on some Vernum projects, Node projects, as well as Express.js. So that's why it is showing my previous files here. But in your case, what happened? It won't show any file here. So by default, you will get here empty file. Now I'm going to close all these things here. So close all, and by default, you will get like this. By default you will get like this. So what we are going to do, first you have to create some folder for your project. So that folder you can add it here. So now what I'm trying to do is, in the F drive I'm going to create here, so uh, react app 5. Already we can maintain here react app 7. Yeah, so I'm going to take here react app 7. So this folder I want to add to my workspace. What you are going to do, just you have to click on that one. It is showing my previous files, everything here. So I'm going to add the new one. So go to the file and here add folder to your workspace. What is our folder name is React 7 now. You can go to the React, I think in F drive. Yes, he see here we have here React 7 is there. So now I'm going to add. So yes, I want to add it. See here we have here the file is sorry, the folder is added. Up to now what we did, just we install the editor. After installing that editor, we are going to add that folder to our workspace. After adding that one, so now simply I'm going to create one JS file. So I want to execute that JS file through the Node.js. How we are going to, so right click and take a new file, and I'm going to take here sample.js. So now we have here the JS file is ready. So here I want to print something. So whenever if you are work with a JavaScript, we are going to use the print statement document.write. What is meant by document? Document is nothing but web page. On the web page, if write is nothing but print. On the web page, if you want to print something, you can just use here document.write. But I'm not going to execute in the browser screen. If you want to execute in the browser, you can write like this and you will get that output. But what I'm trying to do is, I want to execute this file through the runtime environment, nothing but through the Node.js. I want to run this one. What you are going to do? So just I'm going to use here log. So by using this log, I'm going to print something. What you are going to print? So welcome, I want to print. So now the program is ready. How we are going to run this one? We have to run through the Node.js only now. So how we are going to work with that? First, simply we have to download the Node.js. Go to the official website. So in the official website only we have here, so the LTS, and at the same time the current version it is showing. Go to the downloads. So in the downloads you have here the LTS and the current version. So what is the difference between LTS and current? Now we are going to discuss. So here you can observe, so latest LTS version is 16.16.0, which includes npm node package manager. It is showing here. Why it is showing like this? So here LTS is nothing but long term standards. So here it is showing the long term standards, nothing but whenever if you are doing any project also, that project is we are going to maintain long term, no. So that's why it is showing here LTS long term standards. It is showing we have to maintain 16.16.0, that is for, so real time project purpose you can take that one, which includes npm 8.11.0. What is meant by npm? Npm stands for node package manager. So through this node package manager only we can create our React app. So what you are going to do here? So you can select anything like a LTS and current version. So what is the difference between these two? It is long-term standard, long-term support. And go to the current version. What is the current version of the React? Node is here 18.6.0, which includes 8.13.2. Here you can observe 16.16 we have, and here 18.6 we have. So here this is the long-term support and this is current version. Nothing but here what happened in the sense, whatever they are implementing the new features, that all features they're going to maintain in the current version. So but for the real-time projects, whenever if you are doing the any real-time project also, we have to maintain that as a long-term support now, long-term standard I required. So that's why for real-time projects you can take this one. So for your practice purpose, you can take this one. There is no problem. So now I'm going to take this one or this one, anything fine. So depends upon your OS, you can download it. So for example, I want to download here this file. Now see here it is showing the so .msi. What is meant by MSI? Previously, whenever if you are work with a VS Code editor, we are getting .exe file, no execution file we are getting. But here we have the .msi, nothing but a Microsoft installer. So this is completely like a Microsoft product here. So you have to install that one. Same process only. You have to double click here. So then same terms and conditions, next, 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 and finish. So now what happened here? We are getting some widget here. So once the widget is ready, so then we will get this next activation. So just click on the next again. So it will ask like accept terms and conditions. Yes, next, 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 finish. So the node is install is done. So now I'm not going to install. Already I have the Node.js also. That's why I'm going to skip yes. So whether Node.js is installed or not, I have to check. So what you are going to do, just you can open the command prompt. In the command prompt, you can enter here node-v. So node space hyphen v. We will get the node version here. So my node version is 16.15.1 we have here. So which includes npm also now. So npm no need to install. By default, if you are installing a node, you will get the npm also. Now just you can observe here npm which includes 8.11.0. So this is the way you will get the node version as well as npm version. For example, if you are open like a command prompt, you are checking node hyphen v. So in case your system not contains node.js, at the time you will get the some warning kind of thing. So node internal and external commands are not recognized, you will get that error. So that you can consider okay, node.js is not there in your system. So this is the way you have to check and you have to so execute that versions here. So now everything is fine. So I have the .js file also. I want to execute this one. Just to take a terminal. So in the command prompt also you can, but what happened every time from the editor to command prompt, that is very difficult. So that's why I'm going to open here new terminal. Terminal is nothing but command prompt. So for which folder you are going to create. So this is our folder. I'm going to create for that one. See here in F drive. So React 7 we are getting. I want to execute my file. Previously, I have here a number of terminals. So now I'm going to execute my file. So node space. What is your file name? Sample. You can just press enter. Now see here, we are getting here the output here. So this is the way we have to implement. So the basic ECMAScript files we have to use like this. If you want to do some addition programming also, for example, where a equal to, so just you can write here 10, then where b equal to 30, then we can do here where c equal to, so a plus b, then you can write here log. So console.log c. So now I am expecting here the result is 40. Just you can observe we got here the result is 40. Like this, you can just run your JS files in the terminal. This is fine, right? So just I'm giving some clarification about the JS. Now I'm going to delete this file here. So now what is my target here? I want to create my React app. So how we are going to create your React app? So depends upon your node version, you have to follow the command. So now I'm going to enter here npx node package extension. Npx stands for node package extension. So you can do npx. So we have to use here create hyphen React hyphen app and your app name. For example, my app. My app is my app name, you can write so project one e-commerce website, so ELearn, eNet, Hyderabad like that. We can do the different namings also. npx create react app and your app name. Just press enter. If you are press enter, it will take some time to create our app here. So now you can observe creating a new app, new react app in F drive. It is showing the path. You can observe here my app is, it is showing. So automatically you will get come some folders here. We have to wait unless the entire process it will be installing. It will take some time, so we have to wait. After getting all the files, then we'll move to the complete execution flow. Up to now what we did, so we have to first install the VS Code editor, then we have to install the Node.js. So whether it is installed or not, we have to check node-v and the npm-v node package manager also you can check. Then what you are going to do, you can create your app by using the command npx. So we have to use here create hyphen react hyphen app and your app name. So app name you can take any name also, no problem. See here I am taking my app. You can take any name also. Just you can press enter automatically. So the complete folder structure it will be so install. We have to wait until unless why, because by default if you are creating any project also, we will get the different folders node underscore modules. Node modules we have, and at the same time public folder we have, and the src source folder we have, and package.json we have. So package log.json, like that we will get the so complete files along with folder structure. So once the folder structure and file structure, nothing but once the app is installed successfully, we have to run. This is the process we have to follow. So it is still installing. So it is completely depends upon your configurations only, and at the same time your OS based also. For example, your OS is a Mac, so it will take very fast and quick load that app. So we have to wait until unless the app is creating. Only one time it will take some time, but further if you are running your any component also, it will get very quick response. So only here the while installing new app, while creating a new project, only that time only it will take some time to create all the folder structure. So you can observe here. So my app we have here, under my app we have the node modules. So what is this node modules? Node modules contains a number of predefined packages. Just I'm going to expand. You can observe here. If I'm expand here, so you can observe here a number of packages. Internally we are getting here so many packages. Whatever you require for your React project, see here all are inbuilt packages. If you require, you can use it. Otherwise, don't touch anything in that one. So just you can skip. In future classes, in future, we are going to install the Bootstrap. We are going to install the React Bootstrap. We have to install nothing but React Strap. Generally for front end, we are using the React Bootstrap now. But here we have the React Strap, as well as if you are install jQuery, if you are install any package also, that package it will be stored in under the node modules. So we are not going to touch anything up in this level. In future we are going to add new packages also. And here we have the package.json. This package.json contains so entire our application info. So still it is installing. So we are getting a number of lines here. So currently we are getting name. What is your app name? Our app name is my app. What is the version? So here by default private true only we will get. So we have to wait until unless the complete installation is done. So you can just observe here. So we have here the lines of code is automatically increased here. So this contains complete application information. What are the dependencies we have here? So everything you will get once the app is ready, once we are going to enter to our program. See, node modules is created public. Just you can observe here. So node modules public src package.json. See here we have node modules public src package.json. So leave it these things. I will show you in the future classes. So almost our app is ready. Yes. Now see here. It is so the app installation is done, so we are getting here. We suggest that you begin by typing cd space my app. What it means, it is showing the folder you have to enter into your app. How we are going to enter? Cd change directory, so my app, I have to go to my app. So now just simply we are into our app here. So it is showing npm start. What is meant by npm start? Npm start is nothing but your React script should be start. You can observe here. So this start is matched to this start. And what is the command? React scripts. All React scripts should be start. So that is called npm start. If you want to execute your programming, you have to enter npm start. So whenever if you are enter npm start, you can observe React script starts. From where you are getting this React script, you can observe. From the so package.json we are getting. So it is showing, so starting the deployment server. So what happened in the sense, if you are getting this notification directly, see here, it is like a edge, nothing but browser is blinking here. So if you are opening here, automatically we are getting here localhost colon 3000. What is meant by localhost? Localhost is your server name and 3000 is our port number. So if you are using like AngularJS, 4200 is a port number. If you are using PHP, 8080 is a port number. Like each and every programming we have the port numbers. So this React also we have the port number is 3000. So if you are entering here npm start, automatically our React should be start. Once the React should be started, so you will get the browser screen along with the localhost 3000. So now you can just observe here, it is showing Webpack compiled successfully. What is meant by Webpack? Webpack is nothing but so React so compilation that things completely server based kind of thing here. So we'll discuss that Webpack everything in the end of the so React. So here you can observe Webpack is a server. Just you have to remember this is server. So through this Webpack only we are going to execute our so React app. It is showing so localhost 3000. You can enter this one or you can enter this one also. You will get the output. Now just to open here and you can so refresh once. So it is loading. Better I'm going to open the Chrome. See here, we are getting here, so the React logo, and we are getting, otherwise we can enter here localhost 3000. You will get both are same only. So it is showing both the things. You can enter your like a localhost 3000 or you can go to the IP address also. But most probably this network based we are not going to use. So we have to go to the localhost 3000. Now you are getting here localhost 3000, everything is fine. So it is showing edit src. Under src folder, we have the app.js and save to reload. It is showing go to the src folder. So go to the src. Under src, we have the app.js. In the app.js, whatever you have, it will display in the browser screen. What I'm trying to do is just I'm going to remove the header tag to header tag, and I'm going to write here some h1. I'm going to write here welcome to React app. Save this one. No need to do the refresh also. If you are click on the save, so automatically the compilation is done, so we will get the output without refresh. It is auto refresh only, so we will get the output here. So for example, I want here one button, so just you can take here, so button read more, and you can save this one, and you can just go to the browser. See here, so how quick the response is appear. So this is the way you have to implement. So once the app is installation done, we have to enter into your app cd space app name, my app for example. So my app is my app name. Then you can start your server by using npm start. If you are using this npm start, our React scripts all are started, and we will get that browser screen localhost along with 3000 port number. So after getting that React logo, you can just open your app.js. So in the app.js, just a header to header you can remove, and whatever the so things is required, just you can write that programming and you can execute that one. So this is the way you have to create the React app in the real-time scenario.